So we are Group One, and our we are Zero Waste Heroes, and our project would be Waste to Energy Biomass Gasifier Power Plant. So for this presentation, we will talk about Module 7. So first and foremost, we have our capabilities and asset resources. So the gasification technology is principally well suited for small power plants ranging from below 10 kilowatts to over 100 kilowatts. Appropriate gasifier systems with internal combustion engines can produce 1 kilowatt per hour of electricity from 1.1 to 1.5 kilograms of wood or 1.8 to 3.6 kilograms of rice husks. A generator in the range between 10 and 100 kilowatts provides sufficient energy not only for household lighting but also for televisions, refrigerators, and the operation of small machinery as well. The approximate cost of the biomass gasification power plant will be around $5,000 to $9,000, which roughly equates to 250 to 450,000 pesos. This price could be higher depending on the machinery and equipment supplier. This price would be for the initial investment only and does not include succeeding operational costs. The biomass power plant will be operated by about 30 to 40 staff members, and most will be employed locally from Barangay Dayas. Staff will include operators running the plant via computer control systems, mechanical and electrical technicians, and fuel handling and plant maintenance roles. So, in order to develop the needed capabilities, a list of strategies must be implemented. So, here we have in the table three areas, namely manpower, funding, and technology. So, for manpower, before employment, employees and workers must undergo a series of training and workshops, depending on their job description. The employees and workers must also have the set criteria for their applied positions, such as managerial skills for supervisors and managers. Workers must have the proper training in dealing and working with the biomass gasifier, machineries, and equipment. For funding, funding will be done through the company's initial investments and through other investors and nonprofit organizations. Donations and volunteer work will also be accepted throughout this Waste to Energy project. The company will also apply for government grants and training. And lastly, for technology, the technology used will be supplied by overseas biomass gasification companies such as Henan Yanya New Energy Technology Limited and Infinite Energy Private Limited. The company will contact these suppliers during the preparation of the power plant and negotiate the costs of the agreement. Here we have the asset or resources needed. The biomass boiler and turbine are the key elements in making an efficient and reliable biomass gasifier power plant. Other equipment includes electrostatic precipitator, which is used for taking ash out of the gas stream, and cooling towers to cool the steam after passing through the turbine and so be able to reuse the specially processed water. So for the main equipment, the main gasifier listed below are the associated ancillary equipment. So we have the gasifier, steam drum, the air fan, hydraulic power pack, and other materials, which could be supplied locally. So again, the approximate cost of the biomass gasifier plant would be around 5,000 to 9,000 US dollars. And most of the main machinery and equipment and other raw materials will be outsourced from countries such as China and India. And this is due to the lack of biomass gasification manufacturers in the Philippines. So here we have the cost requirements. So like from the previous slides that I have mentioned, the company's initial investments would be through the main investors and other investors as well, and donations from volunteers and nonprofit organizations. Government grants will be used for the funding as well if successful. So the expenses from the waste to energy equipment would include safety and quality control, collection, and transfer trucks are the vehicles, personnel salary, garbage storage area, location for the biomass gasifier power plant, and other operational costs. So here we have our external partnership and linkages. The company will partner with the local government of Barangay Dayas and other barangays who face a similar problem of lack of proper waste management. The company will also partner up with interested investors who will help with the initial investment of the project. Partnership with local and international nonprofit organizations who have similar visions and missions and who support the project will also occur. Some of these nonprofit organizations would include the Ramona Boites Foundation Incorporated and Greenpeace Philippines. Partnership with the city government will also be done if and once the requested grant is approved or accepted. So next would be the key activities. Yeah, so the key activities would include waste management, garbage collection, segregation, technology, research and development, safety, and quality control. So for waste management, the waste to energy project will help the residents of the informal sector of Barangay Dayas lessen the amount of garbage in their area, especially when not collected by the barangay. Waste management also occurs in the whole biomass gasification process as the project helps reduce and convert the waste into electricity and reusable fuels. For garbage collection, the company will collect the garbage during the area's assigned schedule. The garbage will be placed in their designated waste area by the residents and will be collected by the company thereafter. Segregation. The residents must segregate their garbage as mandated by the city government. Segregation will also occur before the biomass gasification process by the workers. The waste will be segregated based on the waste's usefulness to the biomass gasification process. Here we have technology. The biomass gasification process consists of the use of various high-quality technology. The use of this technology will highlight sustainability and alternative means to electricity. Research and development. Prior to the opening of the power plant, sufficient and proper research must be conducted to appropriately assess the scope and capacity of the project. Proper research and development is also done to have a successful project through the correct and efficient use of the machinery and equipment and through competent employees and workers. Lastly, we have safety and quality control. This is to ensure the quality of the electricity produced, most especially the health and safety measures implemented or installed. So next slide, we will have these steps in the solution concept. So there are 5 total steps in our solution concept. So one would be collection of trash from the respective areas in the barangay. 2, transportation of waste from the barangay to the biomass gasification plant. 3, once at the plant, waste will be segregated accordingly. Trash that can be used for the gasifier will be segregated and will be utilized in the next step. 4, the waste will then be placed into the vessel, or the biomass gasifier. And lastly, the process of the biomass gasification will now commence. So the materials that can be placed inside the gasifier are wood and agricultural products, solid waste or household waste, and industrial waste. So in the next slide, we will talk about the process of how the waste to energy occurs. So here in the slide, we have the first 2 steps. Firstly, after the waste is put into the vessel, they are burned in 4 layers. So the oxidation layer, reduction layer, thermal decomposition layer, and drying layer. The reduction layer is the most important part that influences the quality and yield of the gas. The, prod- the products of gasification are a mixture of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, methane, hydrogen, and various hydrocarbons, then which can then be used directly in gas turbines, in boilers, or used as precursors for synthesizing a wide range of other chemicals. For the third and fourth steps, we have here from the turbine, it then goes into the generator. Generators do not actually create electricity. Instead, they convert chemical energy into electrical energy. They do this by capturing the power of motion and turning it into electrical energy by forcing electrons from the external source to an electrical circuit. So lastly, from the generator, transmission and distribution now happens. This is where the electrical energy is now distributed to the people. In our case, the residents of Barangay Dayas.
Here we have our value propositions to the users. So it's important to have and provide a reliable waste management system because this can prevent harmful damages to the environment, and this can also reduce the number of trash being improperly disposed in the area. And this would also give the people the discipline to follow a system which then becomes a habit. We manage and reduce waste from collection to disposal while recovering valuable resources and creating clean and renewable energy because this can ensure that the environment has less emissions and provides a improved quality of air for the users to breathe. And this can also prevent them from catching any harmful diseases such as heart disease, lung disease, and respiratory conditions. Since we are using biomass as our renewable energy provider, is to produce electricity as the renewable source of energy to the residents in their area. And this can also benefit them since they can use it to produce and generate electricity because the waste will be used for energy production. This gives community an extra source of energy since the trash collected will be converted to give and provide an extra source of energy to the residents. This can also give them access to reliable and sustainable electricity for several reasons, such as food, lights, an enhancement in productivity and technology. For them to become sustainable, they must adapt in order to manage the improper waste responsibly that positively impacts a healthier environment. This also gives better outcomes to the area, such as cleaner air, water, and the reduction in greenhouse gases. And this would also benefit the users since it would give them a role to be more responsible and cooperative to lessen all the negative impacts affecting the area. It provides an opportunity for employment since we would need people who have the required skills to take the necessary steps in order for them to create an environment which is safe and sanitary for the people. It will also give them an opportunity since they would also earn income and they can also provide the needs for their families. And lastly, it is a need to educate the residents by providing programs because this would benefit the community to be more aware of the proper practices of disposing of trash. And this would also give them more knowledge on how they can improve and expand their way of taking action.
So the value proposition to other stakeholders. So first of all, we have environmental benefit, in which since we're taking out waste and making it into electricity, we're able to reduce the waste inside Barangay Dayas, and that in itself helps even the stakeholders because having a cleaner environment in terms of investing makes it safer and more and less volatile as an environment. So the second is competitive prices. So this process actually allows prices of electricity to be lower in this area, thus having more purchases from this process since the raw material is actually just waste. So aside from that, all you have to pay is for the machine, the things it uses, and labor. That's basically it. So the degree of innovation. So this innovation is purposely induced since the slight changes that will be applied towards implementation is only because of the environment. Like there's not much innovation because the only innovation there is the slight changes you have to make for it to suit the environment that it's going to be in, aside from like maybe the typical things like where to get your power and everything, but you also have to take into account like the soil where you place your machine, like those things. So raising the awareness of the society to have a sustainable lifestyle. So this project actually emphasizes on awareness since it's basically trying to reduce waste, not only temporarily and not only in Barangay Dayas, but in the long run, it hopes to reduce waste in multiple places because if you think about it, turning waste into electricity is a very efficient way to live, since, of course, all of us, all people have infinite waste. And as society is, we do not have unlimited energy. So increase access to electrical services. So just like the other things I'm talking about, this project allows us to have more access to electrical services. Currently, the informal sector of Barangay Dayas is having a hard time accessing electricity since it is a costly measure and it is not necessarily available in their area. So this allows them to have access towards that electricity, and on top of that, in a cheaper and more cost efficient way. And at the same time, they're also giving out to the community since they're helping and cleaning their own community. So that's it. Thank you.
For the price and payment structure, waste to energy is based mainly on two sources of revenue. The first source is a gate fee, also known as a tipping fee. This is charged when barangays, municipalities, businesses, or other organizations deliver their waste to a facility for disposal. The second source is the generation of electricity. The electricity produced will be sold to the people. So, for the enterprises pricing method, we will be using the competitive pricing method. This method involves setting the price at the same level as the competitors. For the tipping fee or gate fee, our enterprise will be following the tipping fee set by a private landfill in Consolacion. For the electricity, since there are no competitors existing in the Philippines that produce electricity from biomass gasification, we will be following the prices set by the US Department of Energy Federal Energy Management Program for their electricity generated from biomass gasification. For the payment method, for the electricity, the payment method for this will be done through over the counter payments, online banking payments, and credit or debit card payments. The over the counter and credit or debit card payments will be done at the Enterprises Service Center. For the tipping or gate fee, the government may pay the enterprise through bank payments. For the revenue, as I have mentioned a while ago, the business will be applying the competitive pricing method for the waste to energy project. For the gate fee, this will be charged per ton of garbage. Based on the tipping fee or gate fee paid by Cebu City to Consolacion's private landfill, we will be charging 700 pesos per ton of garbage for our gate fee as well. For the electricity, it will be charged per kilowatt hour based on the electricity fees charged by the US Department of Energy Federal Energy Management Program for their biomass classification services. The price ranges from $0.08 to $0.15 per kilowatt hour. The prices increase significantly depending on the fuel costs. As we converted this to the Philippine peso, we will be charging our electricity with a price range of 3.85 pesos to 7.23 pesos per kilowatt hour. This price range is much cheaper compared to the effective rate for a residential customer provided by Beco, which is 11.049 pesos per kilowatt hour. For the distribution channels, we have here the potential channels involved to deliver the solution to the customers. According to William G. Zickmond and William J. Stanton, the recycling of solid wastes involves a backward channel of distribution, also known as reverse channel of distribution. That is because it involves reversing the flow of materials in the channels of distribution. Since our enterprise recycles solid waste by turning waste into energy, we will be using the reverse distribution channel. With this distribution channel, it will begin with the customers since they are the ones producing the waste. This will then be channeled to us, the producers, the waste to energy enterprise, since we will be receiving the raw materials, which are the garbage from our customers. This will be recycled by the enterprise through the use of a biomass gasifier that will convert the trash into energy in order to produce electricity. The product, which is the electricity, will then be channeled or distributed to the customers. To answer the question, how will they experience the service or product? We will first answer the question, where will they go? So, for biomass gasification service, the government will be in charge of the waste collection in their respective barangays. They will transport their waste to the enterprise's waste to energy plant or facility. In the waste to energy plant or facility, the waste deposited will undergo the biomass gasification, wherein the waste is converted to energy. For electricity, in order to experience the end product of the enterprise's biomass gasification service, which is the electricity, the customers must first apply for the electric service connection. It will depend actually on the barangay's resident whether he or she will apply for the electric service connection for their household or not. For those who wish to apply, they will visit the enterprise's service center to apply for an electric service connection. So in there, they will fill out forms, pass requirements, etc. Once it is approved, the electric meter or wirings will be installed for them. The customers will be given information about the date and time of installation. So we will be answering also the question when and how would they experience the product or service. So, for the process of the actual service and delivery of the product, which is the electricity, the barangay's garbage collectors will first pick up the customer's waste. To answer the question when, it will actually be based on the schedule and area provided by the government for garbage pickup. For example, in an article I have read, the Cebu City Department of Public Service implemented a new schedule for the collection of garbage from households and establishments last July 3, 2019, which was scheduled from 4 p.m. to 12 midnight and 12 midnight to 8 a.m. So, going back to the process, the garbage collected will then be delivered and segregated at the waste to energy plant. The trashes will undergo the biomass gasification process, turning waste to energy. Lastly, from the plant, the electricity will be distributed to the customers through the electric transmission lines.
So for the promotion, first we have local government endorsement. Since the company will be collaborating with the local government of Barangay Dayas, the barangay will help promote the company and its project to their residents. The project is centered around the residents of the informal sector of Barangay Dayas. So a notice or announcement must be made by the council or officials of the barangay in regards to the company's goal and purpose of their scheduled garbage collection. Next is the newspaper endorsement. The company's project will be included in newspapers. Articles of the project in local newspapers will boost public awareness and highlight its environmental and societal benefits. Information about the company, like its website and contact number, will also be included in articles. In order for these interested investors or organizations to contact the company, they or if they have any donations or inquiries or proposed partnerships. Social media publicity. Social media accounts and an official website will be made for the company, like such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and it will be used to further promote the business and to expand its user reach. Information about the company will be made available in each social media account, such as the company's vision, mission, and goals. Pictures and videos of the ongoing project will also be posted. Additionally, contact information such as contact number and email will also be made available in the social media accounts. Lastly is the email. Communicating with the right customers positively impacts and gives the form of promotion a likelihood of success. With the website in place together with the information, the company's email will be available to communicate and interact with customers and potential customers. Giving detailed information, it is an effective method to reach out to